All right, so I just got back from watching Shelter, the latest Jason Statham action movie to hit theaters. Now, technically, this came out last week, but I didn't watch it because I had this open spot, and the only new movie coming out this week was The Strangers Chapter 3, Part 1, or whatever the heck it's called. I don't know. I have been watching these Strangers prequels. So I wasn't gonna watch the third one for sure, and it was between this and Markiplier's movie Iron Lung, and I'm not a big enough fan of Markiplier to watch that movie, but I hear it's doing very well. So congrats to him. It's amazing YouTube success all the way to movie success. So good for him. But again, I haven't watched a lot of Markiplier videos. So I didn't have a big desire to see that movie, but I do know Jason Statham, so I figured I'd check this one out. So, like almost all recent Jason Statham action movies, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. And Shelter is by no means any different. In fact, it is probably the most egregious example of if you've seen one of these kinds of movies, you've seen them all. I don't think there is a single original thing in this movie. Now, that's not necessarily entirely bad if you can do interesting things with familiar concepts. Unfortunately, this movie doesn't do anything interesting with its familiar concepts. You got Jason Statham, who's playing a retired, maybe under suspicious circumstances or whatever, grizzled veteran of the Royal Marines or whatever, and he's living a normal life, and he just wants to be left alone. But then something happens, and now he's on a path of vengeance, or in this case, a path of trying to protect a young girl from, the dangers of, the government or some secret organization or whatever it is. This was very similar to the plot of The Beekeeper, A Working Man, and now this one. And there's plenty of other Jason Statham movies like this as well. Now, what The Beekeeper and A Working Man had going for it is, and especially The Beekeeper, is they had this sort of slightly unhinged nature to them that at least made them entertaining to watch, even though they were pretty bad. But hey, they were kind of crazy, and so, it was entertaining. Shelter, I don't think anything in it is as bad as anything in Beekeeper or A Working Man. So it's got that going for it. Unfortunately, it's not doing anything as entertaining as Beekeeper and A Working Man. So it's got that going against it. All the goodwill I have for this movie is just because I have goodwill towards the certain tropes it's doing. The grizzled lone wolf protecting a young cub sort of thing. I'm a sucker for that trope. This movie does that trope, so it's got some brownie points for me. But it doesn't do anything interesting with that trope at all. So it doesn't save the movie for me, even though I do like that trope. I think one essential ingredient this movie was missing is its villain. I feel like if the villain had more of a personal stake in the plot and there was more of a rivalry going on between our villain and Jason Statham, we could have had something kind of interesting here. Maybe if the villain was that unhinged character, this movie could have been kind of cool. But as it is, the villain in this movie is kind of as impersonal as a villain can get. So the movie's not saved by that either. The action is passable, the acting is passable, everything in this movie is fine. I wasn't rolling my eyes at anything, but there really is no need to see this movie unless you've never seen a Jason Statham action movie, which is a very stereotypical action movie. So maybe if you're like 10 or 12 and you've, never seen a movie like this before, it probably will blow your mind. But if you're at any age above 14 and you've seen a movie like this before, there's no need to see this movie. You've seen it already. I guarantee it. You've seen this movie before and you've seen it better. So, unfortunately, not a recommendation from me, even though it's not awful, it's just not good enough to recommend. So those are my thoughts on Shelter.